Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that made my jaw drop. Story 1. Wife takes photos every time she does dishes to prove her point. So my husband has been driving me absolutely crazy by insisting I never do the dishes. Like, this man will look me straight in the eye and tell me he's the only one who ever cleans them, when I literally do them all the time. He keeps saying I either never touch them or only put like 2 plates in the dishwasher when I do. Meanwhile, he's the one who barely does anything around the house. We argue about other chores too, but the dishes thing was really getting under my skin because he was so convinced he was right. So you know what I did? I started taking photos. Every single time I loaded that dishwasher, I took a picture. Before and after shots, timestamps, the whole 9 yards. I felt a little crazy doing it, but I was so tired of being accused of something that wasn't true. When he inevitably brought it up again a few weeks later, telling me how he's always the one doing the dishes, I whipped out my phone and showed him photo after photo of me loading and unloading that thing. His face was priceless. He tried to argue at first, saying the photos didn't prove anything, but come on. There's literally photographic evidence. Then he got all defensive and said I was being petty and that taking photos was weird behavior. But honestly, what else was I supposed to do? He wouldn't believe me when I just told him, and I was getting so frustrated feeling like my efforts around the house weren't being seen or appreciated. Now he's claiming I'm making a big deal out of nothing and that couples shouldn't have to document their chores like we're roommates or something. But here's the thing. If he hadn't been so insistent that I wasn't pulling my weight, I never would have had to resort to this. Was I being petty for taking photos to prove my point? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. Dad tells daughter she gets a perpetual period after his sexist jokes. So picture this, I'm at a family dinner with my dad, my sisters, and one of his friends with their family. Everything's going fine until my dad starts making these jokes about how lucky his friend is to have a son instead of daughters. He's going on and on about how difficult it is to live with women, which is already ridiculous because me and my older sister barely live at home anymore since we're away for college and work. But then he really crosses the line. He starts making comments about how women get moody and miserable during their periods, and how we're just naturally more difficult to deal with because of our hormones. He's saying all this stuff about how periods make women impossible to live with, and everyone's kind of uncomfortable but nobody's saying anything. So finally, I've had enough. I look at him and say, well Dad, if periods make people so moody and difficult to be around, then you must have a perpetual period because you're grumpy and snappy literally all the time. The whole table goes dead silent. His friend's family is trying not to laugh, my sisters are staring at their plates, and my dad's face is turning red. He gets all huffy and says I'm being disrespectful and that what he was saying was just a joke, so I should be able to take one too. But apparently when it's directed at him, it's not funny anymore. He spent the rest of the dinner being cold to me and barely speaking. Later, my mom pulled me aside and said I should apologize because I embarrassed him in front of his friends. But honestly, he was the one making embarrassing comments about women and periods in the first place. If he can dish it out, shouldn't he be able to take it? My older sister thinks it was hilarious and says he deserved it, but my younger sister thinks I went too far. The thing is, this isn't the first time he's made comments like this, and I'm just tired of sitting there and taking it. Did I cross a line by giving him a taste of his own medicine? Story 3. Friends ditch me in Miami but still want their concert tickets. So I need to tell you about the most infuriating thing that just happened to me. I have these 2 close friends from university, Lily and Kate, and they're both really conventionally attractive, like, the kind of girls who turn heads when they walk into a room. Me? Not so much. I'm clean, I take care of myself, I've tried every beauty tip in the book, but I have a big nose and a really wide jaw that just don't fit conventional beauty standards. Anyway, we graduated this year and decided to celebrate with a trip to Miami. I was so excited and bought us tickets to see this artist we all love, spent a good chunk of money on them, but I thought it would be worth it for such a special occasion. The first night we go out to some clubs, and at first everything seems normal. We're dancing, having drinks, having a good time. But then I start noticing that whenever guys approach our group, Lily and Kate kind of subtly move away from me. Like, they'll shift so I'm not really part of the conversation, or they'll angle their bodies so I'm partially blocked out. At first I thought maybe I was being paranoid, but it kept happening over and over. Then it got worse. They started straight up leaving me alone at bars and clubs. I'd turn around and they'd be gone, off talking to some guys across the room or even leaving the venue entirely without telling me. I'd be standing there by myself, trying to figure out where they went, feeling completely humiliated. This happened multiple times throughout the trip. I felt like I was cramping their style or something, like they were embarrassed to be seen with me when there were cute guys around. It was honestly one of the most hurtful experiences I've ever had. So when we got back, they're all excited about the concert and asking about the tickets. And you know what? I told them I'm keeping the tickets and going with other people instead. They're absolutely furious, saying I'm being petty and that those tickets were always meant for all three of us. But why should I reward them with an amazing concert experience after they treated me like I was invisible the entire trip? Am I being too harsh, or do they deserve to miss out after how they treated me? Story 4. Dad finally realizes he destroyed his relationship with his daughters. So my dad just had the biggest reality check of his life, and honestly, it was a long time coming. I'm 28 now, and I've always had this weird relationship with my dad where he wasn't absent or abusive or anything, but he clearly had a favorite, my older brother Chris. Like, it was so obvious it wasn't even subtle. Dad would go to all of Chris's events, talk about Chris constantly, and Chris just got priority for everything in our house. Don't get me wrong, I know he loves me and my younger sister Diana, but we definitely weren't Chris, you know. If Diana or I had something going on, Dad would show up but you could tell his heart wasn't really in it. He'd be there physically but mentally he'd be somewhere else, probably thinking about Chris. This went on our entire childhood and into adulthood. Well, recently Chris moved across the country for work, and suddenly Dad's trying to get all close with me and Diana. He's asking us to come over for dinner, wanting to hang out, suggesting family activities, stuff he never really initiated before. At first we were like, okay, maybe he's finally realizing he has 2 other kids. But then Diana and I started talking and we realized what was really happening. He wasn't suddenly interested in us as people, he just didn't have his favorite kid around anymore and needed someone to fill that void. So last week, Dad calls me all upset asking why Diana and I never want to spend time with him, and why we're being so distant. He's genuinely confused about why we're not jumping at the chance to hang out with him now. And I just lost it. I told him straight up, you spent our entire lives making it crystal clear that Chris was your priority, and now that he's gone, you expect us to just fill in as replacements. I said, Dad, you dug your own grave with this one. You can't ignore your kids for decades and then act surprised when they're not interested in a relationship with you. He got really quiet and tried to say that wasn't true, that he loved all of us equally. But come on, actions speak louder than words, and his actions showed us exactly where we stood for 20+ years. Now he's saying I'm being cruel and that families should forgive each other. But should I have to pretend like all those years of feeling like the consolation prize didn't happen just to make him feel better? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.